Hi guys, how you doing? All right. I'm not very good at making reaction videos. I'm not very good at editing and knowing where to stop and putting together. So I'm going to do this video as a live, really, or as my impression of what Easy was saying when he was commenting, or at least mentioned the word DDS. I've received several messages today from supporters of President Duterte, or so-called DDS. I count myself as a supporter of President Duterte, and therefore, I also align myself with Duterte's supporters. But however, I've also got an independent mind, and I don't always kind of agree on every single issue. I have freedom of choice, freedom of speech. Of course, I support President Duterte. I'll say that publicly. I support his policies. I support what he's doing for the country, but also I have my own freedom of speech. So I just wanted to take you to the part of the video where Easy Mill Panalo live on Wish USA. It's a reaction with Easy Mill and H-Bomb. And within that reaction, the H-Bomb is actually talking to Easy Mill about his love for the country. And they're watching the now viral video Panalo. And I just wanted to listen to the clip it where he mentions DDS. And then I wanted to go ahead and analyze that. So we're just going to go ahead and watch that clip. So basically, this is the chorus, if you like, of the song. As I said, I absolutely love the song. It's got an incredible hook. It's got an incredible melody. It's very, very clever. And I think that Easy is an absolute genius. He's really a master of his craft and a expert in writing and lyrics. Let me go ahead and listen to this bit.
Nobody can beat the ferocity of our bloodline.
Totoo yan. Totoo yan. Katapangan talaga.
Hey, if you seen that video, 5 Filipinos versus 20 Mexicans.
He's just about to say it now, so if you listen to this bit very carefully. So this is the bit now where he's going to go ahead and he's going to make the comments on the DDS. I'm just going to stop it for 1 second. Just going to rewind it again, sorry.
But you feel this chorus is coming up, and
and listen to it, and then I'll give my interpretation afterwards. So hold on a second. I'm just going to go ahead and give my interpretation. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Walang tatalo sa bagsik ng ating dugo means nobody can beat the ferocity of our bloodline.
Totoo yan. Totoo yan. Katapangan talaga.
Hey, if you seen that video, 5 Filipinos versus 20 Mexicans. Yeah.
So this is the line coming up now where he's going to mention the bit about DDS.
DDS? Are you kidding me? I discuss problems. That's just to be like on a positive note at sometimes. We don't have to always discuss problems, bro. Wag nang pag-usapan ng mga negatibo. That means let's not discuss the problems. Exactly. Just for a time being. Let's have a good time right now in this song. But of course I'm going to talk about problems. The fuck? Yes, my ass, bro.
So basically, this is it. And I've thought about this very carefully and I've looked at this very carefully. The issue is that Easy was accused of being DDS because he's been talking about the problems of the Philippines in his music, in his rap. So I understand, and the way that it's been explained to me, and I also agree with that, is that people have been bashing him on YouTube and online in the comments, and saying that he was maybe DDS or he was involved in politics. Let me make it very clear. If you are a musician, an artist, a rapper, it's your fundamental duty to write about life. You know, rap music is people's experiences, people's take on life. That's what rap music is. That's the artist in him. That is, he's writing about situations. You know, I recently listened to another prominent blogger on Facebook, Tom, Finding Tom. And at the time, he was saying that bloggers or vloggers shouldn't be afraid to stand up and talk about issues in the Philippines. You know, nobody can deny that there is poverty in the Philippines. Nobody can deny that there is a problem in the infrastructure's been neglected over previous administrations for many, many years. Nobody can deny that wages are very, very low in the Philippines, and Filipinos are forced to go abroad in search of a better life. But the way I see it is this, and this is where I really do support President Duterte. Since President Duterte has come to office, he's cleaned up the situation. He's cleaned up the number of people addicted to illegal drugs. He's made sure that people get rehabilitation and people are discouraged from using drugs. As I said, this is not too political. The main point to focus on is this. There is the Build, Build, Build program of the Duterte administration that's improving the infrastructure, improving the country. There's the SAP program where people are getting sums of money. But again, the president said this himself. There are some barangay captains who haven't distributed that money properly, and there is corruption. Now, I haven't listened to every single song from Easy at all. But my point is this. When he's saying DDS my ass or DDS my ass, he's not saying that being a DDS is his arse or anything like that, or their arseholes. No, not at all. What he's saying is, don't accuse me of being a DDS at all, because as an artist, he's above politics. Do you really think that a singer in the Philippines, if they wanted to get anywhere in terms of their music, do you really think they would come out as being political? No, but that doesn't stop them from commenting on social issues. That doesn't stop them from speaking about their own experiences, from saying when there are problems. You know, the fact is that people have to understand, and where I agree with Easy is this: the Philippines, the people of the Philippines, unfortunately, there is some internal discrimination. If you're from a particular region of the Philippines, you might make a joke about another region of the Philippines, or you might say, oh, Bisaya people are like this, or Ilocanos are like this, or Tagalog people are like this. And then people would also question him because he looked white. He didn't really look completely Filipino. He looks like he's a mix of another look as well. So what he's saying in his lyrics is, I'm Pinoy. He's shouting from the world, from the rooftops. He's shouting from the rooftops that he is a Filipino. He is proud to be a Filipino. He's proud to fly the flag of the Philippines. He defends the flag. He talks about the flags. Yes, there is that bit about lapu-lapu that he said was creative artistry to make people talk about it. And yes, he's already apologized about that, but I really don't think he owes any DDS any apology whatsoever. He wasn't being critical of DDS. He wasn't saying anything bad about President Duterte. He wasn't being critical about the Philippines whatsoever. He was merely saying, don't accuse me of being political in any way. Don't accuse me of being DDS. Don't accuse me of being yellow. I'm not. I'm just trying to say there are issues in the country, but his video, his music, within that sentence, he also said, let's just forget about that for a minute. Let's just enjoy the music. And this is what artists do. They just enjoy the music. They enjoy the writing. They use their creative art to basically deal with issues in the country. And this is exactly what Finding Tom again said recently. You know, so many times there are so many vloggers and bloggers who are just chasing hits. So they want to say the Philippines is wonderful, the people are wonderful, they've all got so much money or whatsoever, or the country is paved in gold. But there are issues. There is poverty in the Philippines. There are people who can't afford, don't know where their next meal's coming from, particularly during the pandemic. There are many, many Filipinos who've lost their jobs, have no money whatsoever, are in absolute poverty. And yes, the president has ensured that there is help available for them, but the president can do only so much. He doesn't operate by himself. He's not a one-man band. He has a government. He has to rely on local government. He has to rely on local officials. He has to rely on barangay captains. And as he said, there is an investigation that some of these SAP payments haven't been given. So I don't think that at all that Easy is blaming the president. He hasn't said anything negative about President Duterte whatsoever. You know, the problem is this video has maybe been spliced together, and maybe some DDS would say that he's saying DDS arse. No, he's not saying that. He's just saying don't call him DDS. Don't label him in any way with any political colour, because a musician, a rapper, unlike Kaki, who's very much against, I have to say, she seems to be politically biased. I don't believe Easy is politically biased at all. You know, I'll come out and I'll say that, and I'll come out and I'll defend him. I'll defend him in any court of the land. I'll defend him publicly and say all he's saying is I'm an artist, a rapper. I will talk about issues. I will talk about the situation in the Philippines, because that's what I do. And that's maybe what vloggers should do a little bit more. Maybe if they speak about the problems, not to criticize the government. We're not criticizing the government. Although the Duterte administration has said they don't mind critics. But me personally, I would never criticize the government. I would never criticize President Duterte, because I think he's doing a brilliant job. I think he's doing a very hard job. I think the policies have been put on hold by the pandemic. I think if it wasn't for the pandemic, a lot more would have been achieved. But President Duterte has inherited a problem and is doing all he can to sort out the problem. So this is really a message to all of those people who've been sending me message saying that Easy doesn't like DDS and he's against DDS. I completely disagree. I would say that he's just saying, do not label me with any politics. He needs to remain neutral. I'm sure he is neutral, but there's nothing wrong in looking around the country, opening up his eyes and seeing there are issues in the Philippines that need support, that need help. The president can't do this by himself. It needs the support of the Filipino people. And I believe this is the message from Easy. I believe he's very patriotic. I believe he cares for his country very much. He believes for a young man to care so much about the Philippines, for a young man to care so much about his country as much as I do. I love the Philippines with all my heart and soul, but I'm drawn to this young man because I also believe that he's very patriotic. I believe he's very, very proud. If you listen to his lyrics very carefully, you will see he is incredibly proud to be Filipino. He wears the Filipino flag. He wears the Filipino flag on his heart, on his soul, on his body. There is nothing wrong with that. I wish there were more young people like him. I wish there were more young people who cared for the Philippines, who appreciated the different regions of the Philippines. If you listen to another part of his interview, he said very clearly, I did not want to leave out the various languages of the Philippines. I wanted Bisayan, I wanted Tagalog, and so on. He wanted the various regions of the Philippines, or the main languages of the Philippines, to be talked about. And I think that's the message. I think he loves his country very, very much. And I think it's very sad that there are very few individuals who maybe call themselves DDS, who maybe have over-analysed his music. I think it's excellent, because I think so many reactionists, so many other nationalities now are talking about the Philippines, talking about the country. They're interested in learning the language. They're interested in learning about the culture. They want to hear about the music, the music at the beginning. They want to understand where that's from. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. So my hat goes off to him for everything that he's doing as a role model for young people in the country. So many young people are dissing their own country. So many young people are dissing the Philippines, talking about the bad things about the government, bad things about the country. But I think the more that we support the country, I think the more that we support the leadership of the country, we should support anyone who's doing their best for the country. And my opinion really is that President Duterte, I think, is doing his best for the country. Yes, I am a supporter of the president. And yes, I also believe in Easy. I believe in his music. I believe what he's doing. Thank you very much.